So back in 2006, I sent Nintendo a series of 3 emails for whatever reason. I guess I was just treating them as like my personal pen pal at the time. And the main one I sent them was saying, "Hey, I just beat New Super Mario Brothers on the Nintendo DS. It just came out like a couple days ago. I hope you're gonna make a sequel." And they actually replied to that sort of thing. A lot of people are making jokes now that it's my fault that Nintendo went on to make like 4 or 5 a billion New Super Mario Brothers games. So I was just thinking about those emails. In fact, I was thinking about the New Super Mario Brothers one. I forgot I even sent those other 2, but I still had access to the old Hotmail email account where I had sent those from. So I went back, dug around a bit, found them all, and just said, you know what, this is kind of cool. Again, maybe people will enjoy hearing about it. So I, compiled that all together, made a video, and I'm just so happy to see how much everyone's enjoyed it.
There was one you were like sort of, it was like you were a bit bitey at them, like you were like I can't remember what it was.
Yeah,
It was
yeah.
one of the emails, you sort of
Well,
had
in,
a go
in the
at them
new
or
in the
something.
new Super Mario Brothers one, I was like, I beat the game 100%, and if you don't believe me, here's like all these reasons I can list that prove I actually did it. Like I was just telling Nintendo like, this is who I am. You better answer me. No, I mean, it wasn't that mean.
And actually, speaking of that and stuff, I saw that one of your videos and stuff recently, your Nintendo email video and stuff. I know that we've discussed it and stuff off camera. Like I said, that's how I discovered you. Funny enough, like that video is like done incredible recently. It's kind of like popped off in a way and stuff. Like, how has that been for you, seeing how successful that video's like become?
I am so happy to see that so many people are enjoying that video. I think it's just a relatable experience getting in touch with that company who you love so much. And my favorite part is seeing down in the comments again other people sharing their experience getting in touch with Nintendo. And it's just amazing the impact it can have when, again, that company that you really enjoy what they do getting back to you. It feels like you've made that personal connection. So I think a lot of people relate to that. And when I made the video, I thought, oh, it's just a silly thing. I'm going to talk about something I did in the past, and maybe a few people will find it funny. But just to see the response to it is really incredible, and I'm happy that it's giving others an opportunity to think back to those memories as well, and even get them out there to share with the masses.
Oh yeah, and it's quite funny and stuff like that. You say about sort of sharing experiences and all that, because I actually had a little bit of an experience and stuff myself in terms of contacting Nintendo. And I found it interesting you'd brought up about like how recently and stuff like that in terms of responses, a lot of them can be quite, it's the same old stuff. It's very sort of cookie cutter sort of
Mm-hmm.
responses. And I remember though, like during lockdown and stuff, when I was doing some sort of work and stuff like that for like a class I was part of and stuff like a business class, and like they needed us to basically like get details about like we had to pick like a company and stuff like that. It was like one charity and one like non-charity, and we had to
Mm-hmm.
sort of describe and stuff like different things about it as a business, how
Mm-hmm.
many employees are there, what they do and stuff like that. And they needed to know, for instance, how the company was broken down sort of,
Yeah.
in terms of the employee structure, manager and assistant and all that sort of stuff. And I'd I'd basically not really read the assignment properly, because I was meant to pick I think a UK business, and I just picked Nintendo, not thinking,
Nintendo
realize.
UK, right?
Yeah. Well, that's the funny thing, because midway through, I was like, oh, I can then just switch it in Nintendo UK, because you can kind of say like everything I'd written so far. I can say, oh yeah, like they market it for this region, but overall they are selling games, and they're not a completely different business. So I could twist it a little, but then I had to find out how it's structured there, because obviously being a smaller division of a big company, you don't know how it's broken down. So I thought, you know what? I'm just going to send them an email, see how they'll get back to me.
Excellent.
They genuinely actually got back to me. They said we can't obviously break it down properly because it's confidential information, but they actually provided me a link and stuff to their organizational structure in Japan and
Mm.
stuff. Or it was like something like that. It was sort of like a way you can view it in Japan, like what they show on their finances, I guess, like reports and all that. So they had actually got to me specifically and was like, we're catering to your weird specific question. And it was like, when I saw your video, it made me think of that. And I was like, it's funny we had like a similar experience. Yeah, sort of describe to the viewers and stuff who haven't seen it and stuff what actually that video, like what you sent Nintendo at the time.
For sure. So back in 2006, I sent Nintendo a series of 3 emails for whatever reason. I guess I was just treating them as like my personal pen pal at the time. There weren't as many message boards or easily accessible information back then. There were, of course, some places. There was even Nintendo had their own message boards at one time called the Insider Forums. I would post on there a bit, but for whatever reason, I felt like email is the only way to get an answer to these extremely important questions. And the main one I sent them was saying, hey, I just beat New Super Mario Brothers on the Nintendo DS. It just came out like a couple days ago. I hope you're going to make a sequel. And they actually replied to that sort of thing. A lot of people are making jokes now that it's my fault that Nintendo went on to make like 4 or 5 a billion new Super Mario Brothers games, which maybe you love them, maybe you hate them. Again, obviously, the reason I sent that email was because I really liked New Super Mario Brothers. I didn't expect that they would just keep rehashing the same thing over and over again. I hope they'd change it up a little between games. But you know what? We got a lot of games. Can't complain too much about that. So yeah, I sent an email like that. Also one about one of my favorite games of all time. In fact, my actual favorite game of all time, Star Tropics, here on the NES, asking if that would ever get a new entry, and also about the Nintendo e-reader, an accessory for the Game Boy Advance where you swipe cards in, wondering if you were going to get some more cards for that. And yeah, so I was just thinking about those emails. In fact, I was thinking about the New Super Mario Brothers one. I forgot I even sent those other 2, but I still had access to the old Hotmail email account where I had sent those from. So I went back, dug around a bit, found them all, and just said, you know what, this is kind of cool. Again, maybe people will enjoy hearing about it. So I compiled that all together, made a video, and I'm just so happy to see how much everyone's enjoyed it.
Yeah, and I bet you're sort of like at the time and stuff. I bet your young mind was sort of blown off, like, oh, it got back to me and stuff like that. And like, I don't even think I would have even sent an email sort of around that age. I would have just been like, oh, I'm too scared. I don't know what to do and stuff. And like, and I feel like in your emails as well, you were so confident. You were like, I think in one of them, you were so like sort of, I can't remember what it was. It was like you were like, oh, I've seen that you've like. Oh, I can't. There was one you were like sort of. It was like you were a bit bitey at them. Like you were like I can't remember what it was.
Yeah,
yeah.
Well, in the new Super Mario Brothers one, I was like, I beat the game 100%, and if you don't believe me, here's like all these reasons I can list that prove I actually did it. Like I was just telling Nintendo like, this is who I am. You better answer me. No, I mean it wasn't that mean. Definitely check out the video if you haven't seen it. But yeah, I mean, I just, you didn't think twice about it back then. Just type an email. It was much better than, person to person or, face-to-face communication. That used to make me so nervous back in the day. But sitting behind the computer, sending an email, no problem.
I laugh if you just like made a trip all the way there and just stood outside just with a sign like New Super Mario Bros. 2, please.
Exactly. Like you see with Half-Life 3 and stuff, right?
oh, don't even get started on that Half-Life 3.
Yeah, we won't.
But anyway, yeah, like speaking of your channel and stuff like that, like how must it be also like to think, you've got all these fans now sort of supporting your content and sort of having this community that you can sort of like bond with in a way and stuff like that, over like something that you love, in gaming.
Oh yeah, it makes me so happy to see those, recurring viewers who come and watch each of my videos each time I upload. It really means a lot to know that you've created that fan base, and you always want to make new and exciting videos to to give to them because of the loyalty that they've given you. So I work hard here to come up with new ideas, that email one being one of them. I always want to kind of do something that you don't really see much of on YouTube before. Of course, there's always going to be overlap. It's very hard to find ideas that no one's done, but again, with all the games I've played and with all the things I've experienced, like with that email case, I'm always trying to create videos that you probably won't find anywhere else. And I've just been so happy again with the response lately, and to see those people coming back again and again to watch my content. It really means a lot, and it's one of those things that you really aim for when you create a YouTube channel. Because for me, people are really impressed that I've been replying to pretty much every single comment posted to that email video. But that's just how I've always been. People I think might think, oh, it's a one-off thing because he's talking about being replied to, so he's replying to all the comments. But if you go back through all my videos, you'll see I've always been very good responding as to many as I could, because to me it's that fan interaction that makes being a YouTuber so special, and it's what one of the things I enjoy most about it.